Hey everybody, thanks for watching. On Tuesday, April 29th, Warner Brothers is releasing a trio of Clint Eastwood classics on 4K Ultra HD, all of them for the first time. The long overdue Dirty Harry, the Western staple Outlaw Josey Wales, and another Western classic, Pale Rider. Two of them directed by Clint himself, and the other Dirty Harry. So let's get into all these. Dirty Harry. This is one of my favorite movies ever made. Been wanting this. Been wanting the whole series, but hey, we'll take what we can get. Comes in an Amaray case. Just a 4K disc and code, which the code I've already redeemed. So, very cool, very cool. Dirty Harry is a movie that I've loved since I saw it in high school for the first time. I knew of it. Everybody knew Dirty Harry when I was growing up. He was an iconic character. He's probably fallen off because, you know, it's not the franchise itself hasn't left the 80s since it came out, since it last left us with the Deadpool. This is a Clint Eastwood staple besides Western. This is where he jumped off and was like, look, more than a cowboy. So to put it personal, when I first saw Dirty Harry, it was a friend of mine, Kurt and I were going to go rent a movie, and we're like, we're gonna rent Shaft. We're gonna rent Shaft tonight. We're gonna finally see Shaft. We went to like 2 or 3 video stores, couldn't find it. We're like, well, why not Dirty Harry? Let's just get Dirty Harry. Holy shit, it was amazing. I watched this movie. There was a shock value to it. Clint was badass. The story was a serial killer, Scorpio thing. It was incredible. Loved it. I was like, oh my gosh. And I quickly saw those. This is a series I've owned on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, and now I got the first one on 4K. I need 4 more of them, guys. Come on, Warner Brothers. So pretty exciting. I did a speech on Clint Eastwood and Dirty Harry when I was in high school. I edited this using VHS tapes. I made a like sizzle reel Dirty Harry set to Welcome to the Jungle. The Go Ahead Make My Day scene was the opener. But yeah, when I started writing Mendelssohn's Memos, and if any of you been keeping up with me since that, I opened my first retrospective was James Bond, and Scott said, can you keep doing these? He was really enjoying them, and I did my first lesson in One for Me was Dirty Harry. I did the Dirty Harry movies after James Bond, and like I did get comments and so like, why the fuck are you doing that? What are you doing? Because I wanted to. I love Dirty Harry movies, and like I just wasn't grasping things at the time, the culture and stuff, like how cop movies get, propaganda, stuff like that. These were just entertaining movies to me, and I'm a fan of Clint Eastwood, and it was opened my eyes a little bit. But I still stand by these movies. I still like them, and I still think they have messages and stuff, and Clint evolves and stuff as they go. But it's quite a fun thing. But yeah, I learned that with Dirty Harry. This movie is still just a powerhouse in terms of, it's based off the Zodiac Killer. I mean, you get like stuff like Silence of the Lambs because this one kind of starts that stuff. It's got iconic, just by the dialogue. There's sequences like when he does the football field with the Zodiac, the school bus. The sniper scenes are awesome in this. I think people borrowed from them like crazy in later years, things like that. So I'm a huge fan. Dirty Harry, probably a top 20 film of all time for me. So it's 5 out of 5. Yeah, Harry Callahan gets 5 out of 5. So now we'll move on to the video for it. This has been restored. It's in its 241 aspect ratio HEVC, 8.265 for a 2160p image, and looks gorgeous. I was just like, oh, it's one of those times where I've seen this movie a ton, and it's like I've never seen it ever before. It does struggle. There's some struggle and some of the nighttime scenes, which there's a lot of them here, but specifically the one where he's moving the bag and the money, and there's just some rougher stuff with the dark image that I wasn't coming in too nice. But everything else looks great. It's clean, sharp. It's got a really good color timing. The patterns on the clothes are like seeing stuff like you never noticed before. You know, the guy had a pattern on something. Facial features, everything looks great. So I'm going to give this a 4.5 out of 5. Next is the audio, which this one comes with a Dolby Atmos, which is crazy to think with Dirty Harry, but it also has the original theatrical English, which that is lossless in mono. It comes with the French, German, Italian, Castilian Spanish, and Latin American Spanish. All those are the monos. And then the subtitles are English SDH, French, German, it's German SDH, Italian SDH, Castilian Spanish, Dutch, Finnish, Danish, Norwegian, and Swedish. So yeah, this is pretty cool. Like, not that Dirty Harry requires this, but like the thing I like about this Atmos track is that it's accurate to the movie. Like, it doesn't like hype up things, doesn't make it like really loud and explosive and boom, 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 all that stuff. It's airy from the back and stuff, but you can feel things and little natural stuff happens. The sound travels quite good, and then when it wants to be loud, it's gonna get loud. But it does really good with environment stuff, and it really opens up and spaces the room. So I'm gonna give the audio here a 5. While it's not boom boom pow, it's quite good. So now we shall move on to the bonus features, which there's plenty here. We have a commentary track with Richard Shackle. He's a film critic. This is a carryover. We have another carryover, which is an American Masters career retrospective, Clint Eastwood, Out of the Shadows. It's a movie length. It's like hour and a half. Clint Eastwood, The Man from El Poso, 58 minutes. There's Clint Eastwood, A Cinematic Legacy, Fighting for Justice. That's 17.5 minutes. We have a gallery of interviews, which is actors from throughout the series. But this was on the Blu-ray editions and stuff too. We have Dirty Harry's Way, which is 7 minutes. Dirty Harry, the original, which is a half hour. Now, new to this is Generations Dirty Harry, which we have a bunch of film writers, critics, professors looking back at Dirty Harry. Nothing really mind-bending here. I think it's like 6 minutes long. It's fine. They did something new for it, which is nice. And then we have Lensing Justice, the cinematography of Dirty Harry, which is about 8 minutes, and it's another collection of interview people, and they're talking about the look and stuff, and the focusing on the director of photography for the film and stuff like that. It's quite neat, but I think there's some stuff. There's one that from research and stuff, there's one called The Long Shadows of Dirty Harry that's not here, and all of these are missing the trailers from them that were available before, which the Dirty Harry trailers are pretty cool, but oh well. But I'm gonna give the bonus on here, I'm gonna give a 5, because at this point this is it. This is what I've got. I'll hold on to my Blu-ray for the other featurette, but they put some new stuff on here. They got people together, so I was like, okay, let's do that. So here we go. Going back through this, we have a 5 for the film. We have a 4.5 for the video. We have a 5 for the Atmos. We have a 5 for the bonus. So that's going to leave us, I'm just going to say 5, because a 4.5, just because that little tweak, but this is perfect. This is a great release. I don't think people are going to be unhappy with it. So check out Dirty Harry on 4K Ultra HD. Now, this is going to be a long one, because we got the Outlaw Josey Wales next. This is one of my favorite Clint Westerns. If there was no Unforgiven, this would be his best directed Western. Of course, I'm a big fan of the Leone ones, and I love those to death. But this is an interesting story, a weird kind of, you watch it today's lens and be like, he's fighting for the Confederacy and this and stuff. There's wrongdoings, and if you look at history and stuff, it's not like he's trying to push some sort of agenda. It's just an interesting set, and you can see the character learn and grow and how things come. And this is, got tremendous violence in it and stuff, and it's got another Sandra Locke rape scene stuff, or gets molested by men. That happens in a lot of Clint's movies, but it is what it is, and it may not be for everyone, but kind of shows the rough ways of the old West and the ruthlessness of it. But I think Clint's tremendous here. I think this is a hell of a picture. Just like to show, this is one, I mean, like a lot of things look cliche now, but this is kind of early on and when these things were starting. Like how can a man come back from his family being murdered, or what path and journey does that take him on? A lot of it stems back from the Outlaw Josey Wales, which is a fantastic film. I give it a 5 out of 5. Now we go to the video with this, and Outlaw Josey Wales, like Dirty Harry, is in truth, this one's 239.1 and HEVC /H.265 ABC 2160p. This one now is a knockout. This one handles the natural blacks, which they talk about in the cinematography featurette. And it's just gorgeous looking. This thing is pristine. This is like it's never looked before. They like treat these like ass on Blu-ray apparently, but this restoration's magnificent. The West looks really pretty. Looks huge. It's like really, really the depth has improved tremendously on this, and amazed looking at it. Like just through all these movies, especially these westerns, seeing the patterns and the texture of the clothing is amazing. There's fire in this, and it roars, and the HDR really does a nice little boost on it, but it doesn't go crazy anywhere else because there's no opportunities in a western to go crazy with it. So it's very toned down. These have a specific look, like these going through all these films, especially this and Pale Rider. Clint's got an eye, like he's got a similar look to things that I'm really picking up on through these new 4K restorations. So I give this a perfect score of a 5 out of 5. And moving on to the the audio, which actually all three of these carry the same. So I'm just going to repeat myself. It has the Dolby Atmos, got the original theatrical English mono, lossless. It's got French, German, Italian, Castilian, Spanish, and Latin American Spanish, as well as the subtitles for this: English SDH, French, German SDH, Italian SDH, Castilian, Spanish, Dutch, Finnish, Danish, Norwegian, and Swedish. And this is awesome. This thing is loud. The gunshots go flying across the room. It's really realized. I know many of you are just going to go straight to that original mix, but man, you got a home theater, whew, go for this thing, because I mean the horse clops hit. The subwoofer has a lot of rumbling action. It goes across the room. Just everything's, the wind. Man, this is a beautiful Atmos track, which I'm giving a perfect score of a 5 out of 5. We'll move on to the bonus features for Outlaw Josey Wales. Carryovers, let's talk about that. As I mentioned before, the trailer's not here, but we have a commentary from Richard Schickel again. We have Clint Eastwood's West, which is a half hour. Eastwood in Action, which is 8 minutes. And Hell Hath No Fury, The Making of Outlaw Josey Wales, which is a half hour. New for this, we have an outlaw and an anti-hero, and this is like the same people from Dirty Harry talking about this movie, and it's about 7.5 minutes. It's just like similar stuff. Not a lot gained here, but it's nice to have new and just different eyes on things like this. And then we also have the cinematography of an outlaw crafting Josey Wales, which is about 8 minutes. Same group of people talking about the look of this film and the visual stuff and Clint's style and what he wants. This is where they talk about Clint loves the dark black, real rich blacks there. And now there's also Reinventing the Westerns, which is like 17.5 minutes. And it's this thing that was from a docuseries on Clint Eastwood that has a lot of notable people, like Kevin Costner shows up and Mel Gibson. But it's just, talking about his contributions and how things change with Clint Eastwood. They talk a lot about the Unforgiven on here too. But this is a lot of stuff. Really like it. And like I said, we're getting to like a point with these like crazy. So 4.5 out of 5 on this one's bonus features, which will take this back. 5 for the film, 5 for the video, 5 for the audio, 4.5 for the bonus. I'm just, again, 5 out of 5. Pick these up. Just Josey Wales. Pretty awesome. Okay, you've been with me this whole time. We're getting to the last one, which is, of course, Pale Rider. This is a later film. This one gets thrown, I think it's in the Warner Brothers lot, where he plays like a, badass outlaw reverend kind of guy. So, this one's got some icky stuff with a little girl that has the hots for Clint Eastwood, but yeah, it's a little weird, but this one's got some badass stuff and unique story. I don't think it's quite as good as the previous 2 movies I talked about, but Clint's good. It's, if you want more Clint Eastwood westerns, this is one of the top ones, I think, too. I probably like High Plains Drifter better than this one, but this is still good stuff and kind of a unique character for him to play. So I give this one a 4 out of 5. We'll move on to the video, which is same as the other ones. 239 HEVC, H.265, 2160p. Gorgeous. It has a very similar look to Outlaw Josey Wales. So all my description of that applies here. Perfect looking. The snow stuff's great. Just lovely looking image. Yeah, I don't know what more to say that I already didn't say for Josey Wales, but this definitely gave me a look. Like Clint's got a look to his westerns that very cool to see it displayed here. Like was the audio, which I give a 5 for the video. Sorry, the audio has again the same slew of characters. We have English Dolby Atmos, English, original theatrical, English mono, French, and German, Italian, Spanish, Castilian, Latin, American, Spanish, English SDH, French, German SDH, Italian SDH, Castilian, Spanish, Dutch, Finnish, Danish, Norwegian, and Swedish. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. This is a quieter movie, but when it gets into the weeds, it's, pow, boom, like lots of good stuff. You can hear like shots and stuff and like birds from back behind you and above, and things travel quite well. Awesome track. Again, if I'm not saying enough, it was said with Josey Wales, and this is what I talk about when I talk about these reviews. There's a lot of repetitive nature to them, but this one gets another 5. We'll go to the bonus features for Pale Rider. Carries over. Eastwood directs The Untold Story, which is like an hour-long doc, and we have the Eastwood Factor, which was like an hour 40-minute doc. We get a new one, The Diary of Sidney Penny, Lessons from the Set. So this is 7.5 minutes, but it is an interview with the girl, Sidney Penny, and she addresses these weird things about stuff, and I really like this really short interview. Pretty nice. We get Painting the Preacher, the cinematography of Pale Rider, which is 8.5 minutes. Same as all the other cinematographer ones talking about stuff. But this one had Sidney Penny to it, as well as the other people that we've seen talk before. And then this one also has the Reinventing the Westerns featurette that was featured on here as well. So pretty cool. So I'm going to give this one a 4 on the featurettes. Not quite as there with the other ones. Let's go back. The movie before. The video 5, audio 5, bonus features 4. So this one gets a 4.5 out of 5. Didn't quite make the cut there with the straight 5s, but this is well worth a pickup. So we have Dirty Harry, Outlaw Josey Wales, Pale Rider, all worth picking up. You can grab any of them from the Amazon Associates link in the description. They're also available in Steelbook editions Tuesday, April 29th. This is something I've been waiting for. These Clint Eastwood movies, Dirty Harry's one of my favorites. This is a favorite Western of mine. Pick them up. They're awesome. Appreciate you sitting through this whole video. Whew. And as always, stay foam positive.